the space between spaces, and the place where we tend to find our mental and spiritual power. Today, we're going to be talking about liminal spaces, so stay tuned to find out more. But first, just a quick overview of kind of what's going on. While I do really like my intro, I feel that new videos are probably going to be better off with me just jumping straight into it and giving you guys some quick updates about kind of what's going on. So I'm going to try that out for this video. And if you guys don't really like it this way, just let me know and I can change things up. But the next few videos probably are going to be very experimental to kind of get a feel for what works best for me. And on top of that, I'm terribly sorry that this video is like 3, maybe 4 weeks late. And it's not dropping on a Friday, it's dropping on a Saturday. My job has shifted around, so now I'm covering different work schedules, and that makes it really difficult for me to release videos on Fridays. So we're probably looking at Saturdays for me releasing videos now. So just so you know, for future videos, that's probably when they're going to be coming out. I am still going to stick to the 2-week schedule so I have more time to put things together. And hopefully now that I've kind of gotten in the groove of my new job, things will be easier. But with this video, we're going to continue with my talk on the basics of energy work. But this one isn't so much going to be a lesson like the meditation one was. It's more of a discussion about liminal spaces. So what is a liminal space? I'm going to read you Merriam-Webster's definitions for the word liminal. Of, related to, or situated at a sensory threshold, barely perceptible or capable of eliciting a response, and of, relating to, or being in an intermediate state. In more simple terms, it is a word that describes the essence of being between two places. You can imagine it as being on a bridge, where you are suspended between the sky above and the water below. You could also think of it as standing directly on the border between two states or countries. For magic, you'll often hear the phrase betwixt and between, which is referring to this liminal state between the physical world and the spiritual magical worlds. That space that we find ourselves in when we dream or experience unexplainable feelings or impressions. Many traditions believe there is power and knowledge to be gained from liminal spaces, and so there are a myriad of ways that you can enter such a state. But they all focus on reaching this magical headspace that allows the logical side of our minds to step back and allow imagination and inspiration to come up and meet with it. We can use both to shape and guide our energies in very powerful ways. So by tapping into the spiritual worlds, we gain their mystical and magical power to help boost our spells and intentions. But if we're only connected to that realm, then our magic would have no tie to the physical world that we're trying to affect. And likewise, if we were only adjusted to our physical selves and not reaching into our energies and allowing our spirits to flow, then we would be going through the motions of a spell without having much power to it, if any. But by having both in equal measure, existing in the liminal space between them, we can become a bridge and the guide for our spells to achieve the most optimum casting. So now that we kind of have an understanding of what a liminal space is, how do we get there? And the answer is through ritual. Now, for most people, hearing the word ritual probably makes you think about magic circles with candles, speaking incantations and giving offerings. And while you're not totally wrong in that assumption, that view is kind of narrowly focused on a lot of stereotypical modern witchcraft ideology and the way that it's portrayed. Ritual is simply any act that you perform on a regular basis, like brushing your teeth or having movie night every Saturday. Those things are rituals because you do them constantly and you get used to it and get into the habit of it by doing it so many times, and it becomes a natural part of your day-to-day routine. For me, entering liminal space, I do so through the ritual of meditation. For me, meditation is something that used to take me anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes to reach that magical headspace. But now that I've done it for so long, I can call up my magical power in a matter of a few breaths. And I'm able to do that because of practicing it over and over, and because I have linked meditation in my mind with raising magical power. So whenever I want to call up my magic, my innate response is to consciously breathe without having to think about it, resulting in much easier and quicker access. I have a whole video on my style of meditation that I will link up in the cards, and I'll put a link to it down in the description if you're watching this series out of order and you just happen to find this video on its own. But a disclaimer, my meditation is just one form of ritual, and my form of ritual. You might find it easier to slip into the magical headspace, these liminal spaces, by listening to certain types of music, or maybe taking a walk. It could be from lighting a candle or some incense, maybe doing yoga, whatever works for you. It's difficult to describe exactly what this liminal space is like, hence why I haven't really tried to describe it too much from my personal standpoint in this video. But once you find it for yourself, you will know. And then it's simply a matter of learning how to reach that space again and creating your own ritual to do so. Now, of course, there's a lot more I could talk about when it comes to the topics of ritual and liminal spaces, but I think that's where I'll end it for today. Just a short, simple video to kind of give you an introduction to both. But if you have any questions about this sort of thing, or you would like me to go more in depth about any of these topics, then let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video informative, then give it a like. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can easily follow along as I add more to this series. So until next time, my friends, may your days be luminous. So mote it be.